What is going on, champs? It is your boy Sultan. Welcome faces back to yet another Apex Legends video. Now in today's video we are going to be going over the best SMG in Apex Legends, as well as breaking down every single SMG in the game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get in today's video. I went ahead and put up a poll on my channel on the best SMG in Apex Legends. Now there were 92 total votes. The Prowler Burst PDW was voted at an 8%, the R99 blew everything in the dust at an 86%, and then the Alternator at a 7% with the lowest percentage chosen. Now this is obviously according to popular belief, but we are going to break down every single SMG, what you can expect from it when you pick it up, because you won't be able to pick up the best gun off the rip. Sometimes when you drop in, you're sitting with an Alternator, you're sitting with a Prowler, you don't really know if the gun is good or not. I am going to show you how to maximize your profits with the weapon that you pick. So according to popular belief, the R99 is supposed to be the best SMG. Now I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Of course, R99 is indeed the best SMG, but I do want to go into each weapon specifically on how you can use it to really get the best bang for your buck. So let's start off with the damage stats for all the guns. Hopping on board with the Prowler, the ammo type is going to be heavy with a base damage of 14, headshot damage of 21, and a total DPS of 175. To quickly note, DPS stands for damage per second, and that is going to be based on fire rate, magazine size, and total damage. Moving on to the Alternator, the ammo type is light, the base damage is 13, headshot damage is 19, and the DPS is 125. And last but not least, the R99, the ammo type is light, the base damage is 12, headshot damage is 18, and the DPS is 220. So based off of these stats, the highest DPS is going to be for the R99, sitting at about a 220 DPS, which is definitely well ahead of every other gun. But we can definitely take a lot of factors into consideration to maximize your profits using the gun. Since DPS is based on fire rate, mag size, and damage, if you were to include accuracy into the equation, that may change things up. So it's always best to get a feel for each weapon and make that decision for yourself. So we are going to be breaking down the Prowler first with its DPS at 175. That's going to be the second highest DPS in the submachine gun category. We are first going to be going over the positives of each weapon, and then we're going to go ahead into the negatives of the weapon. So for the Prowler, the attachments you can use for are mag, optic, stock, and hop up. Hop up being a select fire hop up, so you can actually turn this weapon from a 5-round burst weapon to a fully automatic gun. Its magazine size is 20, and that's going to be the base. You can always increase your magazine size the higher rarity of the mag that you pick up, but we are going to be basing the mag size off of the base model for each of them, so that way we can get a balanced stat for every single gun. So with the magazine size being 20 for the Prowler, that's going to be the highest mag size in the SMG category. Now magazine size is definitely important, because having those extra few bullets in your gunfight can definitely be a deciding factor whether you're going to win that gunfight or lose it. So with a mag size of 20 for the Prowler, that's going to benefit the gun a ton. The Prowler is definitely one of my favorite guns to use in the game just because of that hop-up attachment. Having this gun go fully automatic, it competes with the R99. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the negatives about the Prowler. In my opinion, the most negative thing about this gun is the recoil. Indeed, it does have a decent amount of recoil, so you're going to have to be a little skilled in the accuracy department. Not to say the recoil is not manageable. Me personally, I can manage this recoil fine with no issue. That's why I also do enjoy using this weapon over the R99 at some point of the game. And another crucial negative about the Prowler is that you cannot put a barrel stabilizer on this gun. As you guys know, barrel stabilizer does decrease your recoil. Having the extra recoil on top of not being able to decrease it, that does set it off just a tad bit. But like I said, if you are skilled in the accuracy department, you should have no issue on controlling the recoil. So if you guys don't have the best recoil, I do not recommend picking this gun up. However, if you do pick it up early game, just know that it does have a larger magazine size than other weapons, so I do recommend using the burst feature to sort of maximize your profits before having to reload. So that is going to be it for the Prowler. Let's go ahead and move on to the Alternator. To quickly recap the Alternator's DPS, it's 125, and that's the lowest DPS out of all of the SMGs in Apex Legends. But do not underestimate the Alternator. I can't tell you how many times I picked this gun up right off the rip in the early stages of the the game as soon as I drop and absolutely murder people. So onto the positives of the gun is the recoil. This gun has the lowest recoil in all of the SMGs in Apex Legends. So with that being said, recoil is a crucial factor in hitting your shots. So you don't need to be skilled in the accuracy department to really use this gun and maximize its damage output. Now, of course, there is a trade-off there. Since the gun's recoil is a bit lower than the other two, the base damage and the headshot damage is also lowered. Now, the attachments you can use for the Alternator are the barrel stabilizer, magazine, optic, and stock, with a total magazine size of 16. Now, that's going to be the lowest mag size for each of the SMGs. However, it's not going to matter too much as you are going to be hitting twice the amount of shots than you were if you were using a Prowler or an R99. The main reasons for that is because it has less recoil and the fire rate is definitely lower than both of the other SMGs, so being able to hit your shots is going to be a lot easier. So let's move on to the negatives about the Alternator. The majority of it is going to be the damage. This gun's damage is not up to par when you get to end game. You're going to want to go ahead and put this gun down as soon as you can get those first couple of kills into the game, and when you can trade it off maybe with a Prowler or an R99. Now, that doesn't mean don't pick up the Alternator off the rip, because it is a very good weapon to use off the rip, especially being able to connect with a bunch of shots. But again, the magazine size being at a 16 with a low fire rate does put out less DPS, as it was seen in these stats. Alright guys, finally, and moving on to the R99, let's go ahead and quickly recap what the DPS was, and that was 220. Again, that's going to be the highest DPS in its category. Going over the positives of this weapon is that you can use a barrel stabilizer on it, a mag, optic, and a stock, and the magazine size is an 18. So that's going to be right in between the Prowler and the Alternator as far as the magazine size go. This gun's fire rate is the fastest fire rate in its category. Fire rate is the biggest key factor that holds the R99 apart from all the SMGs. So let's go ahead and move on to the negatives of the R99 and what really sets it just a little bit below on what it really should be. Yes, the fire rate is definitely good for a weapon, but you also have to keep in consideration that fire rate increases your recoil. Yes, it can put out more damage, but you also have that recoil to take into effect. However, I don't think the R99 has the highest recoil in its SMG category. That's going to be the Prowler. R99 is going to be second. About the negative factor for the R99 is the magazine size. Yes, it's in between both of the guns, but it does have a fast fire rate. So that ammo is going to flood it out of your clip so fast, and you're always going to have to find yourself reloading this weapon consistently in gunfights. Now, this is definitely a big thing to take into consideration here, because having to reload in a gunfight, meaning you don't really put out damage over time. Instead, this gun puts out a lot of damage in a short period of time, so accuracy is going to be key in maximizing your profits with the R99. So in my opinion, the Prowler is probably the hardest weapon to use to maximize its damage output, then the R99, and then the Alternator. Now, that's based off of the accuracy department and how much the gun recoils. So Alternator is going to be the most viable weapon for a beginner player, but I do recommend picking up a different SMG into the later game, because you will see yourself getting absolutely dominated by other SMGs such as the R99 and the Prowler, just because their DPS is a lot higher. So in the poll that I put out, you guys said the R99 is the best SMG, and I honestly do believe it is the best SMG. I always get excited when I pick it up. It sort of, completes me in my game. Oh, I have an R99 with a bunch of attachments that are purple and gold. I'm set to go. I am going to be really confident in winning my gunfight and overall winning the game. So the key attachments that you want to get for the R99 is a really good barrel stabilizer number 1, and then a really good magazine size number 2. So if you are able to get a purple barrel stabilizer and a purple magazine for the R99, you are golden. It has the highest DPS, I can't stress that enough, and then you can absolutely tear through people because the recoil is not going to be as high because you have a barrel stabilizer on that is in the purple category. So that's definitely going to reduce it a ton. And this is also why you always see Shroud and Dizzy rocking the R99, because it is indeed the best SMG in the game. However, do take my tips into consideration with the other weapons, because like I said before, you are not going to be guaranteed an R99 off the rip. You need to be able to use these other SMGs and know what they can do in order to maximize your DPS into the game. So I've had to rank these guns from 1, 2, and 3, 1 being the best. The R99 is going to be 1, the Prowler is going to be number 2, and then the Alternator is going to be number 3. Let me know your opinion in the comment section below, because accuracy does take into account for each of these weapons. What do you guys think is the best SMG and why? But that is going to wrap today's video up here. Hope you guys definitely did enjoy. If you did, be sure to drop a like like on it. And if you are new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing for some more Apex Legends content. Here you can find tips, tricks, and reviews on making you a better player. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, this has been your boy Sultan. I'm signing off. Peace.